probably realize later. They check the website maybe.
Check the website where?
The King William website is on their main page now. They just updated it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How you doing, Yvonne?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Feeling better?
Yes. I'm trying to get rid of my cough and would love to get my taste back. I would love to be able to taste a normal cup of coffee.
Yeah. Well, you sound a little bit better too. So.
All right, it is 6:37, so I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. I'll hereby call the King William Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. Madam Secretary, if you could call the roll.
Yes, sir. Michael Nolan.
Here.
Doris White.
Here.
Laura Nunley. Chairman Shoemaker.
Here. And just for the record, Laura did say that she has to work till 7. Okay. She did indicate she would try to make it. I did send her a text message asking that she would message us in the chat message to let us know that she's present. So Madam Secretary, if you could keep your eyes open for that, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is the review and the adoption of the meeting agenda. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I don't understand everything.
I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as written.
I'll second that.
Properly second. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Meeting agenda is adopted. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. The first set of minutes is for January 20th, 21. And I'd just like to comment that I did replace those minutes that were in your packet with a new copy that you should have received yesterday through email. And does anybody have any changes? Mike, I think you mentioned there was one change.
Just a typographical change to Ms. White's name.
So on those minutes, I think I didn't bring my the notes that you sent me, but was changing Mr. to Mrs.
That would be prudent.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the revised minutes submitted to you through email with the correction presented by Mr. Nolan.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next, we have the February 11th, 2021 minutes. Are there any changes for the February 11th minutes?
I saw none.
Okay. If there are no objections, I'd like to ask if we could include in these minutes a copy of the approved and amended 2021 bylaws that were approved during that meeting. I just kind of think it's a good measure to include what it was that we approved. So I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted with the additional approved bylaws to be included.
I have no objection to that. I'll second that. Are you entertaining a motion or are you making a motion?
Entertaining a motion.
Anybody else? All right, I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? No, guess not. Okay, the minutes are approved. Thank you very much for that. Next, we have the public comment period, and I don't see anyone in the window or on the phone. So this would be basically for non-public hearing matters, not relating to the variance request before us. We typically give one opportunity of 3 minutes per individual, 5 minutes per group or organization. And Sherry, I don't see anyone. If I'm looking at the participants that you're looking at, the only folks I see is Darlene, and she's here.
Here with the variance.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Being that there are no participants for the public comment period, we'll go ahead and close that. And then we'll jump right on to the next agenda, which is the public hearing for variance request V-0121, Millie and Henry Gregory. We'll actually be conducting these hearings based on the rules of procedures. So Madam Secretary, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'd like to give the floor now to Ms. Sherry Graham, the chairman, the Director of Planning and Development. And Sherry, the floor is yours.
Okay, so tonight we have Henry and Molly Gregory. Their property is located at 104 Little Woodbury. And I have a small PowerPoint that I'm going to try to get on and show everyone. This is an older couple that their caretaker, Darlene, they think of her as a daughter, and they'd like for her to be able to build right next to them. And this is property that's been in their family for many years. And back years ago, it was multiple lots. And to reduce his the value of the land to make his taxes a little bit cheaper, he combined all of it into one big parcel. And he was told at the time that he could change it back anytime that he wanted to. Well, years have gone by and he hasn't had the need for another parcel up until now. So years ago, this is the exact parcel that it was, and he's just wanting to recreate this one parcel. So let me see if I can do the share screen.
Excuse me.
Are y'all getting this on your screen at all?
Not yet.
Okay.
Something's moving. There we go. Good job.
So you're able to see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There we go. So this just talks a little bit about the property. They are zoned AC, but right adjacent to them is R1. And AC, the minimum lot size is 5 acres. And they would like to create a 2.4 acre lot adjacent to them. In a minute, you'll see on the map that pretty much most of the lots to the right of them are less than an acre. Yeah. So it's really not out of character for this particular property. And these are just some pictures of the property, looking at it from the road. It is somewhat wooded here. It is on the water, but the Ches Bay will not be affected at all. They have plenty of setback from the RPA. And it is a private road going back there. All right, this is the parcel, and their house is to the right side. And as you can see, everything in the yellow, they're all smaller lots. And like I said, most of them are less than an acre. They are zoned R1, where everything on the other side is zoned AC. And this is something that they were trying to go back to a while back. And what's highlighted in pink is the lot that they're wanting to recreate. And this is, you could, and I can't see the date on it, but this is an older plat from many years ago that shows that these were all multiple lots. And he is on the bottom lot. And so this would be to the left of his house. And that's it. I see Darlene is here, and I'm sure she has Mr. and Mrs. Gregory with her. If you have any questions for them, or if they would like to speak on the variance.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Graham?
Well, you know I do.
That is fine.
Sherry, the 2020 plat that you brought up showed a proposal to eliminate or adjust a boundary line that would disconnect the 6 acres to the west from the remaining property. Did that never occur?
I don't, it is all one parcel, so I don't think they ever did the division.
Okay, thanks. And you said it was a private road. Does it only serve these 4 or 5 lots, including the Sims lot?
It goes to a dead end.
And that private road basically bisects the front and the back of the lot. So the lot that would be created falls on both sides of that private.
It does. And going down that road, a lot of people have a garage on the left side of the lane and their houses on the right side.
Jerry, do you have any idea why this was not included in the R1 zoning that's right next door?
Looking back at it, it looks like a lot of the houses to the right were done as a different development. And this was a family parcel from years ago. I believe it was Mr. Gregory's father. And the property was divided as a family division.
And then the only other question I had was the application suggests that the Board of Equalization told the applicant that they could revert the lots back at a later date. Is that typical? And would there have been any written record of that at the time?
No written record. I wouldn't think it would be typical. It wouldn't be typical today, but this was done years ago. So can't speak for what they did years ago on that.
And I certainly don't doubt their statement. I just, it would have helped if there was some written record of it too. I'm going to be quiet for a moment, and I'm going to try to quiet my dog down too.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan. Ms. Graham, I do want to note that I did see included in the packet that we received 5 letters of support from the adjacent landowners, Doug Sims, Elaine Dean, Jesse and Valor Crawford, Brian and Tara Johnson, and Joyce Rhodes. Has there been any other contacts in support or opposition since the packets were put together?
None.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Graham?
No.
Very well. Okay. So next we have the opportunity for Millie and Henry Gregory to speak or make a statement if they would like, or if they have somebody they wish to speak on their behalf, they're more than welcome to do that also at this time. We would need to unmute. It looks like she's already unmuted. So.
Unmuted. Darlene, are you there?
We are here, Molly and Henry Gregory.
Good evening.
Don't see ourselves, but
Henry's gonna speak.
can you see us?
We can't.
Okay. Is that something I've done on my end or?
You probably have your video button off.
Let me see. I'm sorry. Here we go.
There they are.
Okay, here we go.
How are y'all doing? Welcome to
Good
VBA.
Henry would like to say a few words.
I am Henry Gregory. My wife Molly and I own and live at 104 Little Woodbury Road, Walkerton, Virginia. I am 94 and my wife is 89 years old. We have no children. We have reached the time of life that we need someone close to help manage our daily needs. We have a devoted friend who is the closest thing to a child that we have. We are asking that a 2.4 acre parcel of our 12 plus or minus acre property be established as a separate parcel to enable her to build a home next to our home. This 2.4 acre was a separate parcel designated as Section D shown on a plat included with various applications. This 2.4 acres was the result of an estate settlement of property consisting of 20 acres undivided property. If we are allowed to divide parcel D shown on include plat, we will be able to remain in our home as we will have someone who has agreed to help see about our needs. And I thank you for any consideration you can give us.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory.
Ben, if I may, I have a question.
Sure, absolutely, Mr.
With the understanding that that lot modification never occurred, the 2.4 acres that's being proposed tonight, when added to the other roughly 6 acres, is a conforming lot. It would only make Mr. Gregory's 3.6 acres the non-conformings. So I just question the Gregorys. Is there a reason that your application to build a home on the 2.4 acres does not also include the 5.9 acres such that it would be a conforming lot? Or has somebody already built on that other parcel?
He is asking about the lot on the other side of the deed, why that is not part of the consideration.
Mm-hmm.
The 5.9 acres.
Where Doug is.
Between Doug and Lane.
Yeah, Doug and Lane. That's all the way till the end.
Well, that we don't want to divide your lot, you know.
No, he's talking about the other lot. Why
didn't you build up?
I know that they are wanting to keep that in case at some point in the future they would need, let's say, care, long-term care in the home or at a facility. They know that they could sell that in the future during their lifetime to provide for that, the funds for that care.
Okay, thank you, understood. Mm-hmm. So just so long as the board understands, an approval of this application would create one conforming lot all the way to the west, consisting of about 5 or 6 acres.
That's right. It would be separate lot.
Yeah, it'd be separate.
It would be separate.
And it sounds like it's the Gregory's intention to keep that as an asset that they may be able to use in the future for long-term care.
That's correct.
And then that would leave the Gregory's homestead containing 3.6 acres and this new proposed lot containing about 2.4 acres, both of which would be non-conforming. But the lot at the end, the six acre lot, would be conforming. And if that configuration were approved tonight, I only ask what happens to the strip of land that is behind the Dean's property, the one that now connects your two properties?
That we would stay with the 6 acre lot on the left.
Okay.
And in our trust, it goes with that lot.
Thank you, sir.
Our death, if we still own the lot,
We don't have to sell it.
we don't have to sell it. It stays with that lot. And
okay, thank you. Understood. That concludes my questions.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Any more questions for Mr. or Mrs. Gregory?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we typically, what happens, Mr. Gregory, is we open a public hearing for the public. I currently don't see anyone online, but I wanted to make sure there's not anybody waiting. Sherry, can you check to see if anybody's waiting or anything?
I don't see anyone.
Okay.
And no one has said anything in chat either.
Okay, very good. All right, being that there's no one here to speak in support or opposition, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And at this point, typically we give the applicant another chance to, if they wanted to say anything, any closing remarks. It's not absolutely required, but should somebody have spoken opposition or in support, you would get the opportunity to have some closing remarks. So I'll leave that up to you if you guys have any final words. Mr. and Mrs. Gregory?
Do you have any final words, Henry?
no, so I'm real deaf and I have a little bit of problem hearing you, but my wife is prompting me along.
We're both very, very anxious to get this taken care of so we can have Darlene build a house next door to us.
Understood. Darlene, let me ask you, Darlene, you know, during the, we can certainly open up the public comment period if you wish to speak and support.
Oh, myself?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and officially open the public comment period, and you're more than welcome to speak at this time.
So I'm a resident of King William, and been here since 1995, and I live near the central garage area on approximately 25 acres. So it is the time in my life that I also need to downsize. My husband has passed, my mother has passed, and Molly and Henry, we met each other many years ago through church and friends, and we are very close. They are like parents to me. I go to them for advice for things and vice versa. And this would give me the opportunity to stay in King William, to be among many people that I know, not only Molly and Henry. And it would provide, I feel, another real estate tax for the county, along with my property that I sell to a new family, hopefully. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Darlene. Darlene, what is your last name? I apologize.
My last name is Woodward, Woodward.
Thank you, Ms. Woodward. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Gregory, if you guys have any final words you would like to say?
Well, of course, Darlene takes care of all of when we need to go somewhere and we can't drive, she takes us and all that kind of stuff. And we are, what, 15 miles or so away, it would certainly be nice to have her right next door that she could just run over there when she needed to. So that's the way I feel. I would love to have her move next door to us so that if I needed her, I could call and she can run right over.
It means the difference between us being able to stay in our home and not. That's the idea.
So.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Gregory. I appreciate y'all's time. So we'll go ahead and close the public comment period. And I'll go ahead and ask the board at this time if they feel like they're sufficiently informed and ready to make a decision.
Okay. What did he say? Oh.
Okay. Hearing no objection, in accordance with Virginia Code 15.2-2309, powers of the duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals, I will entertain a motion to either approve or deny the variance request.
Well, I understand and sympathize with the applicant's needs. I recognize that there's been nothing but support from all the adjacent owners and that their proposal is not at all inconsistent with the neighboring properties. For those reasons, I would vote in support of their application to approve it. I make the motion that we approve the application.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan. We have a motion to approve the application. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, Madam Secretary, if you could take the votes.
Yes, I will. Michael Nolan.
Yes.
Mrs. Doris White.
Yes.
Laura Nunley. Chairman Shoemaker.
Yes. The variance request V-01-21 is hereby granted. Thank you, Mrs. and Mr. Gregory, for your time. I appreciate it. And Darlene.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless and live a long life together.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
How many years you been married?
We've been married 73 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, that concludes the public hearing. We'll go ahead and move over to unfinished business. Under that, we have the Board of Zoning Appeals vacancy. And that was basically, I wanted to kind of give the board an update on the decision of the Board of Supervisors to recommend an appointment to the BZA. That decision was tabled a few Board of Supervisor meetings ago until further discussion could be made concerning what's called district representation. And to give you a little background on this, a couple of Board of Supervisor meetings ago, there was some discussion about some concerned citizens that felt like that the people who were on the Planning Commission weren't really, it wasn't like an equal, they were concerned about not having equal representation for the districts in which they resided in. Because that discussion was somewhat involved, the Board of Supervisors decided to table our request for filling the BZA vacancy at this time. And to add to that, after that meeting, when we were supposed to get a decision for the BZA appointment, that very next day, I did receive a call from a concerned citizen in District 4 who expressed concern because, first of all, this individual asked if his name was received as part of the applicant. And I did tell the individual, I said, no, we did not receive your name. We received 2 candidates. And that individual expressed concern and strongly encouraged me to forward that concern to the Board of Supervisors. I did inform the Board of Supervisors in a letter and addressed all of the board, letting them know that I also expressed the same kind of concern that there might be some applications that aren't getting reviewed. I personally do not think it's necessary to, to add on to that, I think that I did give them the opportunity. They're looking to implement equal district representation. And our current ordinance for the locality has no requirement for equal district representation. The state constitution requires that we do provide representation. However, the Virginia Code 15.2-2308B does give the locality the ability of creating what's called a joint BZA, which consists of 2 members who are residents of each jurisdiction. And I would assume that would be each district. You know, we have 5 districts right now. So I informed them of that in the letter, and I also encouraged them of reviewing the procedures for reviewing the handling of community service applications. I think that's where the issue is. We really don't have a whole line of people knocking on the door to be volunteers in the county. I personally think it would kind of stifle our ability to be able to maintain the number of people that we would need on the BZA. So anyway, I just gave them my opinion that I thought that they just needed to review the procedures for handling community service applications. And so anyway, whatever happens, I do respect what the Board of Supervisors decides. There has, as I know, hasn't been a decision yet. They are scheduled for their regular meeting. I think it's Monday. Is that correct, Sherry?
That'd be Monday.
That will be Monday. So they may entertain or pick up the discussion at that point. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Ben, what's the makeup of, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it, where everybody lives. What's the makeup of ours? How?
We have 2 people.
Yes,
yes, sir. We have 2 people in District 3. I believe that's yourself and Doris White. I'm in District 4. I'm not sure where Laura is. I think she's in District 4. I'm not real positive.
Well, it certainly sounds like part of the solution is for them to review all the applications that are submitted.
I agree. And I have had that issue in the past. I just didn't really, pay a lot of attention to it. I would hear people tell me that they applied for, whether it was the EDA, whether it was the Board of Equalization or whatever it was, and then they wouldn't get elected. So I know the county doesn't practice sending denial letters out to people that apply. So they just review the applications that are on file. They actually are required to keep them on file. They have I guess a policy that states that they will keep them on file, I think, for up to a year. Is that correct, Sherry?
I believe it is a year.
Say that again?
I believe it is a year.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh.
Well, considering we have so few applicants, I question the logic of deferring the decision when we're already short 2 people.
I agree. So hopefully we'll get a decision this Monday. I plan on being at that. I was at the one where they were discussing the Planning Commission concerns. There were a couple of Board of Supervisors that were representing their constituents and their concerns. And so there was some discussion about that. And then when this came up, that subject came up concerning equal representation in that particular district. So we shall see. Ms. Graham, did you have anything that you wanted to share with us? Anything going on in your area?
I don't think so, other than we had a meeting last week on the comp plan. We were working on that. They have drafted up a survey, and that should be going out soon. I don't think we're going to do a mass mailing like we did before, but Facebook, webpage, notification in the paper, and then putting the surveys at different areas throughout the county.
That's for the comp plan, correct?
Comp plan. Mm-hmm.
How is the ordinance review going? That's is that something this tomorrow? I mean, let's see, was it Friday? Something going on Friday about that?
Tuesday we have a work session. We are tentatively scheduling 2 joint work sessions right now. They will be in May. one in May, I think, and one in July. And I can get those dates to you as soon as it's confirmed, which probably won't be until Monday. And then we're trying to get a date set up for the public meeting, like a public open house, questions and answers, and just different information based on what Berkeley's doing. So.
Any other applications or anything coming in the works?
No, I know we had 4 public hearings to the Planning Commission at our last meeting. We had King William Sand and Gravel for an expansion. We had a proposed landing strip, private landing strip on Landing Road. And we had 2 accessory dwelling applications. And all did pass the Planning Commission, and they will go to the board at their May meeting, their regular May meeting. And I have a public hearing coming up May 4th to the Planning Commission for an attached accessory dwelling. And that one will also go to the Board of Supervisors in May.
I have a question, Jerry. I easily get confused, so forgive me. I know that we had reviewed an accessory dwelling at one time, and I'm trying to remember what causes it to come to us versus the Planning Commission. I
don't know. I don't remember the reason it would have gone to y'all. I can look back and see. An accessory dwelling is permitted by right with approval of a conditional use permit.
Okay.
But
you know what? I think I was talking about. I was thinking about something else. Somebody was trying to build something, but it was where the leach field was, whatever. I think it was. They were just going to build there, like a shed or something.
Oh yeah, we didn't approve that. So it would have been right over top of their septic system.
Right. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Graham? Okay. And there's no new business. So anybody else have anything they want to add or any comments?
I just want to say, Sherry, I apologize for stumbling over your position. I was stumbling. I apologized.
No.
The Director of Community Planning, and I said Planning and Development, so I apologize.
It's all the same.
Oh.
Shari, what's the process going forward for this approval? Is there a resolution written or?
For this particular one,
right?
We haven't been, but we do resolutions for everything else. We were just talking about that the other day. I think we need to do a resolution just like we do with the Planning Commission. And if we do that, then I will do it, and then it will require secretary and chairman's signatures. So,
how else do the applicants move forward? Do they just take the minutes of the meeting and?
We send them an approval letter.
Oh, you do? Okay. In place of a resolution.
Yeah. But I mean, if y'all want to do a resolution, I think it's a great idea.
Does the approval letter have the standard requirements in it that they, get a building permit, get a septic permit, all that?
We will tell them you may now apply for your building permit.
I gotcha. They also have to apply for a subdivision, do they not?
For this, they will have to submit a plat showing a single lot division, which they'll have to do a plat anyway for the construction of the home. And they'll have to show the RPA line, house location, drain fields, well location, setbacks, limits of clearing. We require that they show different contours if it's a steep, but this is pretty flat property. We've walked it all the way down to the water, so.
But for the official plat that subdivides the land, is that something that you sign as subdivision agent approving it, or does the BZA chair sign it, or both?
No, it'll come in as a single lot division and we'll sign it in-house.
Gotcha. Thanks. I was just curious about that.
Okay. Any other comments, anybody? Okay, there's no further business in front of us. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. All right.
I'll second it.
Second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone oppose? All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all's time, and sorry for the little hiccup this evening on getting connected. So,
and I apologize for my dog's songs.
They were quite entertaining, actually.
They were.
Sherry, good job tonight. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad we got it on anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Have a good evening.
Yeah, have a good evening.
Y'all have a good evening too.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
Bye.